Good evening. I'd like to call the Tuesday, June 10th, 2025 Pittsburgh Commission to order. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We would like to take a moment and just reflect on our colleague Larry Fields, who passed away last week. Several of us worked with him on the commission, and he certainly was a true advocate and enthusiast for the city of Pittsburgh. So I'm going to ask for a moment of silence so we can reflect on his legacy, and then if any commissioners or city staff would like to say a few words about Larry, that would be great. So if you could join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Anyone like to offer any words?
I'd like to say a couple things about Larry. Yeah, I never knew Larry growing up. I knew some of his siblings. I first met Larry when he ran for commission, and I worked with him 2 years on the commission. And I know a lot has been said about Larry, all good, but I'd like to say a couple things that I know about Larry, and it's all good. He was a good father, a good husband, a good hard-working man with a wealth of common sense. Hopefully the same words could be said about me one of these days. And I also would request maybe we think about having some kind of a memorial, I don't know what it might be, at City Hall in Larry's honor.
I think that would be great.
Larry sat over here by me, and there was never a dull moment. He could work the room like no other, and him and I had many conversations here. If we agreed or disagreed, it didn't matter. He was always asking about your family, and he was a good-hearted man and worked hard for Pittsburgh, and I'm going to miss him.
I didn't have the privilege of actually serving on the commission with Larry, but I knew Larry personally and got to know him more after I became a commissioner, and I just echo what everybody else has said. He's a fine human and a very strong advocate for Pittsburgh, and really anything he did for the citizens of Pittsburgh and the betterment of that.
I would echo, I didn't know him as a commissioner, but I got to know him afterward. I would echo what Stu said. He was a good guy, and I liked talking to him and being around him.
Well, he's definitely left a legacy here in Pittsburgh that will last forever. So.
Yeah, I know the staff. Anybody want to say anything? We had many Larry moments, and usually they were pretty funny, which was always a pleasure because everybody takes things a little too serious sometimes. But just a really sharp guy with a lot of great instincts about business and kind of knew what the community needed and was always helping. So appreciate all the time he spent with us professionally and then personally. So going to miss him. Hard to replace a guy like that.
Thank you. Pete, would you like to join us?
Oh, I would.
Get us going.
I'd like to invite you to pray with me. Blessed are you, Almighty God. You dwell within us, and yet at times might seem so far away. May we be aware of your nearness this evening. May your Spirit guide our time together and assist us to nurture community spirit. We thank you for our city and all the individuals that make Pittsburgh the great place that it is, such as Larry Fields. May your peace and love find expression in our words and deeds and bring about healing, friendship, and great joy. We pray in a special way for Larry and for his family at this time of loss. We pray all of this in the name of all that each of us holds sacred and most holy. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
I would open up for public input. If you would like to come forward, just state your name, address, and leave your remarks to 3 minutes or under.
Good evening, Christy Bittner, 1508 Bittner Court, Commissioners and City Manager Hall. After the meeting of May 27th, where I spoke of concerns in Silverback Landing, I referred back to the video of the non-agenda item discussions concerning this subject. I believe some clarification is needed regarding statements made by myself, Darren, and Don. When reviewing the final plat of September 25th, 2018 again, I stated there were 23 homes, and I'd like to correct the record, it is only 22. The first to be completed was the model home, and in 2018, Phase 1 consisted of 55 homes, not 60, according to the final plat. There are now 18 homes or lots owned other than by the developer, including the one recently sold per Darren's reporting at the last meeting, 5 homes in stages of construction and will be on the market sometime. That would make it 23 homes altogether. Phase 2 will not begin until 75% of the lots are sold in Phase 1, according to the developer. Mayor McNay asked about the loan on Silverback Landing, and it was noted the loan had been paid back to the city. A question to the city attorney by Don about any legal recourse was not answered because Darren began speaking again. I believe there is legal recourse within the RHID to incentivize a developer to follow the agreement made between the two parties. On page 53 of the RHID, Article 2 on representations and warranties, Section G states about compliance with laws. On page 55, Article 4 on construction, Section 4.2 is about the schedule. And the last sentence in that section states that, quote, developer will diligently pursue substantial completion of the development project and must obtain substantial completion of the development project within 5 years of approval of the final site plan, or the developer will be in material breach of this agreement, unquote. It's my opinion this commission does have a duty to make sure the laws, codes, and ordinances are being followed. RHIDs have become part of the business model for developers, and your obligation is to make sure anyone doing business within the city should be in compliance. This commission is the governing body for its citizens. As more plans in both residential and commercial properties continue to be built, consider proper staffing for those departments to be able to make sure the laws, codes, and ordinances are being followed so citizens trust that the city is working for the best interests of its citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Christie. Seeing none others, we'll move forward. Consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second,
Moved by Doc, seconded by Stu. Roll call vote.
Brooks.
Yes.
Height.
yes.
McNay.
Yes.
Munsell.
Yes.
Sigley.
Yes.
Motion carries. Consider the following. A, purchase of sanitation truck. Consider staff request to purchase a 2026 Freightliner 25-yard sanitation truck from Elliott Equipment Company in the total purchase price of $258,900.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners.
Right?
As we started this a short 9 months ago, basically picking up about as much as we pick up the whole week we picked up, now we do in one day. So like I said, we're kind of at the point there where we need to expand. So that's why we're coming before you tonight to see about purchasing a new trash truck.
Is this truck the same setup as the other one?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Same company?
Yep, same company, same pit form and function. The only difference is the actual chassis itself, which is a Freightliner versus what we have now, which is the Western Star. But other than that, all the parts and everything will be the same as the other
How
ones.
how many homes are we picking up at now?
Total right now, residential, we are roughly about 2,650 stops for residential. Per week, we have about 2,900 stops. That includes all the commercial stops and residential, so.
So about 300 commercial then, or?
Yeah, pretty much. The commercial's a little less, but some of them get picked up 3 or 4, up to 4 or 5 times a week.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah.
What was the number that it had to be when we first started talking about this, that it would kind of pay for itself?
2,000.
I
Is
thought
it
was
around
like
2,000?
Yeah.
Around 2,500 is what we thought we'd
2,500,
break
so we're
even.
there.
Yeah.
And my next question is, with 2 trucks, they did the job, I can see the need for another truck, but, was you ever in a situation with the 2 trucks where one went down? And I
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I think you were,
Yeah.
so it's a good idea to have.
Yeah, like I said, at times it's, if something goes down, it's gonna require us to basically work a lot longer day, but luckily, knock on wood, we've been, any issue that come up, we were able to address it pretty quick, so. But yeah,
Is there a
Well-
delivery time or?
It's kind of a crapshoot. I've been quoted as much as, or as least as 2 weeks, but then, like I said, the last one we had was around 6 weeks. But like I said, if they've got one on the ground, speaking with him into last week, they had one they could probably get us in 2 to 3 weeks, so pretty good.
Do you have the employees, the man that other truck?
My next question.
Well, with the increase of the truck, we're gonna try to look at bringing on another driver and at least one more thrower, so. We'll look at that third truck as not only a backup, but also kind of move all our commercials to that truck. That way the other two can concentrate just on the residential,
Right.
so.
You have a great bunch of guys on them trucks.
That, I mean,
They are happy to be on
the
them
compliments I
trucks.
hear, I mean, it's, like I said, I, nothing to do with me. I mean, that's, like I said, you got a good crew and, you know, it doesn't take much to run.
And I'm just talking about the trash crew, but we have good crews all
Oh,
over,
yeah,
but
yeah.
when they're riding in the rain on the back there and.
Yeah, yeah.
You're still waving.
It's a
just
different
like-
breed, that's for
They do
sure.
a great
But yeah,
job.
they're happy to show up for work and they'll give you their all every day, so.
Great.
I'd move to approve the request.
Second.
Moved by Stu, seconded by Cheryl. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item B, purchase of fire apparatus. Consider staff request to purchase a Pierce Velocity aerial apparatus and associated equipment in the amount of $2,099,997.36, and to authorize staff to begin the formal bid process to secure financing for the purchase. Captain?
Good evening, Commissioners. What we're looking at is a replacement aerial. It's a 107-foot stick, 107-foot, 107.
107?
Yes, sir. Essentially, Quinn apparatus, you got your pump, your hose, your water, the aerial on top. The one that we're operating out of right now is on delivery of this truck, in about 3 years, that truck is gonna be at 20 years old at that point. And then that 20-year-old truck would move to a reserve apparatus, still in use if we needed it. But this would be our frontline truck. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to.
One
Yes, sir.
question. I noticed that there was an $85,000 addition. Is that all the equipment that goes on the truck?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's just asking.
Is this something that we immediately start paying for, or when we take delivery of it, or?
There are financing options that we can begin paying for now, or we can pay for upon delivery, and we are happy with the product that we are given.
And this locks in the price, because
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure they continue to go up in 3 years out. I mean,
Yes.
it's,
Well, I think our goal, I don't want to speak for Jay because he's going to tell us what we're going to end up doing. But our goal is, we have a public safety sales tax, it's 10 years. So I'd hate to have a truck that's lease payments go beyond that length. So depending on, it sounds like we know how much this one's going to cost. We don't know how much it's going to finance. We can probably put money away because it's going to be, how many years till it's delivered?
3 years.
3 years, so put money away each of the next 3 years so we can kind of just make sure that we're done paying for it when that public safety sales tax expires, which hopefully we can renew, but I don't want to leave a
So
3-year
the possibility
overlap.
exists of paying for it outright and getting a discount for paying for it? Is that what you're saying?
Through their financing option, through the manufacturer's financing.
Somebody's going to have to finance it, and that will be a lease, and we will pay for that lease hopefully over 7 years,
Yes.
because that's what's going to be left on the public safety sales tax by the time we receive the truck. In preparation for that, we can go ahead and put money away now, each year, as if we were paying for it over 10, so we don't get caught with a big payment or something that's going to wreck the public safety sales tax balance then.
well, great job realizing that it's 3 years away from needing it. And, I mean, you realize the truck it's going to replace is going to be 20 years old in 3 years, so that's good,
Planning.
good planning.
Oh, sorry.
No, good.
What's the GPM of the
2,000.
2,000?
2,000 gallons per minute on the pump. It has a 500-gallon tank.
So if we would've somehow bought this truck last year, would that have still been a $2 million truck?
It would have been very close to 2 million. I believe there have been 2 price increases since last year, and they were roughly 2.5%, 3% apiece.
I know it's probably jumping the gun a little bit, and it might be 3 years before we get the truck. But my opinion, that truck should be housed at Station 1. The pumper there should be at Station 3. I think that's what truck we're replacing, isn't it, out at Station 3?
Yes, we're replacing Station 3's truck.
Also, that Quint costs $2 million, almost $2 million, 100,000, whatever. The pumper we bought, was that close to $1 million?
This last one,
Yeah,
it was just over, I believe, just over
just
a
over
million.
$1 million.
Yes, sir.
And if we had to replace our ladder 4, what would that be?
That would be probably, you're probably looking at 2.5 million on it.
$2.5 million. So my point is, in my opinion, we run EMS calls, and they're the majority of the calls we have. In my opinion, I think our $2 million trucks should not be running EMS calls. We have a truck at Station 1, it's 100-some thousand, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's sure a lot less than $2 million. I'd like to see all EMS calls run from Station 1, save our trucks. It's a safety issue too, when you get that big of a truck running at speeds, responding to emergency call,
yeah.
it's harder to stop. So that's my opinion. I think we ought to run with a smaller truck out of Station 1 and keep these $2 million trucks in the station. Now, you know, we could get a call, like a code in an area close to station. Naturally, we have medical equipment on trucks at Station 2 and 3. We respond quickly from there, but the majority of the calls, I feel, should be run out of Station 1 with the less expensive truck. So hopefully, you might listen to that, I don't know.
Well, Commissioner, I always appreciate your input. I know that you have a wealth of experience and knowledge that you're drawing from and, you know, working with you for a number of years. I appreciate all that advice and input.
Any other questions for the chief?
I'd move to approve the request.
Moved by Stu, seconded by Doc. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Item C, ordinance number S 1107. Consider approval of ordinance number S 1107, granting to the Kansas Gas Service, a division of One Gas, Inc., and its successors and assigns a natural gas franchise prescribing the terms thereof and related to thereto, providing definitions of terms, prescribing a franchise fee, providing terms and conditions for the use of public right-of-ways, requiring notice of advance work and duty to repair, providing indemnification and a hold harmless agreement, provide for rules and regulations, prescribing insurance requirements, reserving certain rights, providing for revocation and termination, providing for an acceptance of the terms of franchise, providing for a reopener, providing for notice of annexations, prescribing relevant governing law, providing for transfer and assignment of the franchise, providing for points of contract and notifications, providing for an agreement of renegotiation, and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent with or in conflict with the terms hereof. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for that.
Apologize. The redeeming quality is you do this once every decade. It's
Okay.
This is a franchise agreement that we have, we have franchise agreements with all of our utilities that operate within Pittsburgh. This is the natural gas franchise utility. It actually expired last year, so we're renewing it. There were some, you know, they always try to make a few changes. They always want to extend it to 20 years, so we limit it to 10 years. So there's a few things. Obviously, Henry's taken a look at it. It is basically a renewal of our existing franchise agreement with our natural gas utility.
That's what I was gonna ask. It's a renewal and you guys have looked over it and are comfortable with the terms of it, correct?
Correct.
So when it expired last year, or whenever you said, the gap here? What?
We were going back and forth with the
Okay.
lawyers.
Yeah, and the previous franchise ordinance said that it would remain in effect until this other one was negotiated. So we were still getting our franchise fee during that time period.
Move to approve.
Second.
Excuse me, moved by Stu, seconded by Cheryl. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you. Non-agenda reports and requests, I believe we need to talk sludge. Matt?
Mr. Sludge.
Sludge, this is the sludge
He
report.
has many titles today.
Sludge master.
Not the leading I was looking for, but, so, real quick, update on the wastewater. You've seen, Crossland's mobilized, but we do have, the city had planned on hauling off the sludge that were let out in the drying beds, but since the day that we've let them out, it's
rained almost every day. Anyhow, we need to expedite trucking that sludge off the site. So tonight I'm asking for a waiver of the bid policy, as we're gonna probably exceed $20,000 in trucking of that sludge, and so I'd ask to waive the bid policy. We're working with Sproul's Construction, who we've worked with for years around the city, and they've offered it a reasonable rate of $125 a trucking hour, which is a going rate for their semi-trailers, to help us move this out of the site, so crossing, keep on moving.
Where do you move it?
Right now, we're going to the landfill. If we could get into our farm sites, we'd love to get into our farm sites, but right now it's going to landfill. So,
Is this,
So you make,
Yeah,
I
we're
need a
asking
motion.
basically
Okay.
your permission to.
so a motion to waive the bid policy, to engage a contractor to remove the sludge from the wastewater treatment plant site.
moved.
So you said it's gonna exceed 20,000?
yes, right now,
Yeah.
we're moving around 4,000 tons, so it's probably gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 50,000 is my estimate.
50,000, wow.
Yep.
And that's because of the rain, we can't get in there and get it, or?
We were gonna truck it ourselves as part of our contract, but it's continues to be wet. It's a gumbo.
And this, will come out of the project cost? I mean,
Yes, we'll
yeah.
put it, it'll be part of affiliated with the project, yes.
How long is it, do you anticipate that taking with the private?
Right now, they can give me 6 trucks. I'm gonna try to bump it to 8 tomorrow, and get stuff, just keep on going as long as we can get
Till it rains again.
yeah, until it rains.
I guess my question is, are we contracting with them for the entire project, or are we just contracting with them for?
Just to do this
opening
aspect of it.
As needed?
This was an aspect that we were gonna do as a city staff. But
I guess
the
the question,
timing.
though, Matt, would be if it dries up, if it dries up, when it dries up.
it'll
Is
be
that-
gone by,
it'll be
we'll have
gone
it
by
gone
then?
by the time it's
Okay.
middle of July, so,
Okay. This is a relatively quick
yes.
process.
Yes.
And the landfill's straight up
The-
69?
The drying beds have to be opened up. You see they've opened up into the anaerobic digesters, and that's where the headworks and everything go, is right in the sludge drying beds where they start the project. So that's the urgency to get it removed.
I will defer to your sludge expertise on that. I mean, if you say,
Yeah.
if you say the anaerobic dryer, yeah,
Okay.
Big words. Doc, did you have something to say?
Anaerobic?
No.
Means no-
Motion,
No bacteria.
that's right. I think it was a motion to approve.
Do we have an upper limit of what we're gonna spend?
It's done, so
I believe it'll be around, I hope it will be around or less than $50,000.
Okay. I move that we contract with them up to the point of $50,000.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay. Moved by Doc, seconded by Chuck. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
at what
Thank you.
point, though, if you get to that $50,000 limit, you'll come back here,
I'll come back here.
and just say, we.
Or it's dry enough, you
Yeah.
said you could do it?
Right, we're trying, this was kind of something that we tried to save as a project cost to help facilitate, and timing didn't work out, but we need to do it to keep
We
the
need to
project
move it.
moving along,
Yeah.
so,
Okay, thank you, Matt.
yep,
Good
thank you.
job.
Darren, do you have anything for non-agenda items?
In regards to Ms. Bittner's comments, yes, there's code violations. Mickey's not getting a free pass out there on any of his ordinance that he's, I think Dexter said after the last meeting that he had caught up with her and said, you know, we obviously have code letters, we're sending them all over, he's no different. Regarding legal recourse, he owns the land. Our recourse in the contract is to not pay him the money that we have collected through the RID disbursements, which we haven't done. We're holding on to it. It's a 6-figure number. I think that's significant recourse. That won't be distributed to him until the phase 1 is completed. He understands that, and that total goes up every time everybody pays their taxes. So at this point, that is our recourse. Legally speaking, I guess we could sue anybody if we wanted to, but it's like, I mean, our hope is the project gets completed, not that we spend years suing people because they aren't meeting the time frame. So,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
We'll move on. Executive session. An executive session is necessary for a consultation deemed privilege in an attorney-client relationship pursuant to KSA 75-4319B2 to discuss a potential lawsuit looking for a motion to recess into executive session for 10 minutes to discuss a potential lawsuit pursuant to the consultation deemed privileged by the attorney-client relationship exemption under KSA 75-4319B2, with the meeting to resume in the commission room in 10 minutes.
Second.
Moved by Doc, seconded by Chuck. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we are reconvening from executive session. No decisions were made, no votes were taken. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Doc, seconded by Chuck. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.